Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Hi everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zone around the world and across the country. It's Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast, and it's Friday morning, midnight shop in London, and it's 9 a.m. in Tokyo. Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Allan, and welcome to another edition of Talk Back Live. We're coming to you live from New York City, and we're going to be here for a whole full hour. We're going to be here every Thursday. We're here from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. And the purpose of the show is to get everybody involved verbally. So for instance, I throw out a topic, which I'm doing now. I get the show started. You want to chime in. You want to be with us. You want to talk. We're always welcome for your comments, suggestions, ideas. You want to say hello. We'd like you to be part of us. And so that's what we're going to do for a whole full hour. And of course, we have a lot of things going on today. Excuse me, folks, I'm going to explain that in just a few minutes from now. But thank you so much for being with us. And if you're watching us, no matter where you are, all around the world, I don't care where you are. You can find us. We're broadcasting all over the world. We're global. And you can find us on Facebook. We're broadcasting on YouTube and Instagram as well. Now, Facebook. Normally we broadcast live on Facebook, right? Not this time. For the past couple of weeks, just in case you haven't been joining us and you're just joining us for the first time since the past 2 weeks, well, that's what's happening at this point. But we're going to explain all that a little bit later on in the program. But in the meantime, we're live here on Facebook. I'm sorry, on YouTube, and then we're live here on Instagram. So we thank you so much for being in with us and chiming in with us. So the show is yours. All you have to do is just chime in and we'll be able to entertain you. We've got a lot of things going on for the balance of the program. First half hour of this show, not too far away. Brian Camp will be here. Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He's got them all for you. We've heard some great news he delivered last week about baseball being back. So baseball is back. Those of you who are baseball fans, it's all back and we're all ready and we're all set and ready to go. But I'm pretty sure he has more interesting sports news coming up, but that's coming up during this hour. So stand by for all of that. Now, I suppose you're wondering what I was chomping on. Jelly beans, anyone? Anyone care? Jelly beans? They're free, you could have them. You could have them. They're free. Just come and get them. No, I love jelly beans. I guess that was something I wanted to do before I got on the air, just just to boost a little energy because sugar does that. And I just happen to have some on hand. And so I picked them out myself. I love jelly beans. Now, not because Easter is coming up, and we know Easter is coming up pretty soon, but jelly beans are a candy that you can get all year round. You would think it's seasonal, but it's not. You can get them all year round. Now be very careful when you buy jelly beans because you may buy the ones that you don't like. There are two types of jelly beans, right? You have the fruity jelly beans, which is the one I have, and you have the spice jelly beans. You know, I prefer the fruity because I want to eat something that looks like what I'm eating. In other words, let's say, for instance, I have this red jelly bean here, right? It's red jelly bean. Now, if you were to buy the spicy jelly beans and the red jelly beans, it would taste like cinnamon. It would be cinnamon. Now, I like cinnamon. I like cinnamon. I just don't like them in my jelly beans. So this one I like. Now that one, that's fruit punch. See, I like those. I like those kind of jelly beans. And like I said, you can buy them anytime. I'm just babbling along here. And also, I like the black ones. Now, you can give me all the black jelly beans you want, all the black jelly beans you want. I don't care. A lot of people don't like them. I love them. They have that licorice taste. Now, if you were to buy that in the spicy version of jelly beans, it would be spicy black nut. I like that licorice taste. Tastes pretty good, pretty good. And of course, I have the purple one, which is grape. Grape, that's my favorite color. The purple ones are always my favorite. That's great. That's great. Anyway, if my doctor was to see me now, he would kill me the next time I go into his office because of the sugar. You want to balance your diet as far as the sugar is concerned. I don't need a lot of sugar. I don't need jelly beans that much. I don't do a lot of sugar. It's like when I drink coffee or tea or something like that, I always put stevia in it. That's the natural sweetener that you can buy, so it doesn't boost your sugar level in your bloodstream. But there it is. And these are the green ones. This is a lime flavor. Okay, that's my sugar rush for today. I had it. Doctor, don't worry about it. I'm not eating anymore. And of course, I'm not going to eat this whole pile of jelly beans. That's it for the night. That's it. I have my sugar rush for the night. I thank you so much for being along with us. And all of you know that blue is my favorite color, right? Now, if they had blue jelly beans, I would think that would be blueberry, if it's in the flavor of fruity, right? Blueberry. No, that's my color. That's my favorite color, blue. But tonight, or today, whatever your state of mind is, I'm sporting green, as you can see. I got a green cap, I got green beads, look like a hippie. And even though I like blue, that's my favorite color, we're sporting green tonight because it's St. Patrick's Day. Now I know, right? It's the end of the day right here for us in New York. It's all over. It's come and gone. And those of you who may be in a different time zone, maybe in the advanced day of Friday, it has come and gone for you. But a lot of people here are probably still celebrating. They're probably at their favorite pubs celebrating green beer, What's to eat? Of course, cabbage and corned beef and cabbage, right? But yeah, we have the St. Patrick's Day parade today here in New York, which is the big parade. That's an enormous parade. And everyone from all around come to see that parade. Now, I don't care where you go. They have St. Patrick's Day parades all over on St. Patrick's Day. But you have to come to the one in New York. We didn't know whether or not that the parade was going to take off because, it started to rain this morning. And I was out and about, and it didn't matter because I saw a lot of people sporting their green, ready to go on Fifth Avenue, walking down Fifth Avenue, going to get ready for the parade, wearing their green and shamrocks and all of those great things that you wear on St. Patrick's Day. So they were doing that. And the parade, I must say, went off without a problem. All right. Now, the parade started here in New York at 11 a.m. Eastern. By the time that happened, the rain had tapered off. So I said, okay, this is going to be good. Except for maybe towards the end of the parade, going towards the end of the parade, it started to rain. But it didn't stop anyone. It did not stop anyone. People were still marching. They were all prepared. They had their transparent raincoats and the umbrellas. They popped up the umbrellas and they're still marching along. And I got to tell you something. When you give a parade here, I don't care what the parade is. Those parades are going to go off, rain or shine. They're going to find a way to get those parades going. And it was the luck of the Irish this time around. And this is the first parade, St. Patrick's Day parade, since I think 2019, I think something like that, because of the pandemic. But it's back. It's back, and a lot of people showed up. It was great. I wasn't a live participant there, but I wound up watching it on TV. I enjoyed it. Whatever I had on TV, I enjoyed it. It was great. So, ladies and gentlemen, happy St. Patrick's Day to each and every one of you. I hope that you have enjoyed it. And we'll see you next year in our green. We'll be here in green and we'll have a little feast together. But in the meantime, enjoy this year. I hope that you have. And we're always celebrating something, you know, and we're celebrating another. We're in the midst right now of Women's History Month. Oh, I didn't forget that. And I hope you guys didn't forget that either. Women's History Month. Now, this is a great celebration. It's about time. It's about, we put it out on the forefront. Women have done great things in this world. They have done a lot of great things. Women have acquired positions that would, everybody thought would be impossible for them to do. And they used to always call it a man's position, but women are doing it. Anything a man could do, a woman could do as well. And of course, they become doctors and lawyers, radio and TV personalities, construction workers. I've seen them, and they're out there. So women are doing a lot of great things. So we salute our women, because let's face it, if it weren't for women, we wouldn't be here, right? So we salute our women. And those of you who are watching right now, if you have any, a woman that you know that should be saluted, let us know. Type it in right. I'll see you right there on the big screen. Just type it in and we'll announce it. In the meantime, while that's going on, we're going to salute all women. All women. Thank you, women. To me, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but to me, that's the greatest thing to me that God has put on this earth. God's gift to men, women. I love them. Okay, and of course, you know, we take the bitter with the sweet as well. You know that, right? We got a war going on between Russia and Ukraine. And of course, it's a meaningless war, you know, but I got to tell you, I've been watching the news. I've been keeping up with it as much as I could, because you know, every once in a while you kind of get depressed about it. And you say, well, I just don't want to listen to this anymore, you know. And then especially when the latest things come along, you have these bombings, and they just don't care about human life. They bomb places where children dwell, where women who are pregnant, they're in shelters, underground shelters, so they can get treatment for their babies to come, and all sorts of things. Men have sent their wives and their children across the border to Poland, places like that, so they can meet other family and friends, so they could stay with them. In some cases, while the men send their women and their children across the border, the women would take the children there, but then would cross the border and come back to Ukraine because they want to finish the fight. And I got to tell you, they're brave people, and I salute them. And you know, I guess Russia thought that they were going to just wimp out and say, hey, I yield, I yield, I yield. That wasn't the case. My mom used to tell me when I was a kid, never start a fight, but never run away from one. And that's what Ukraine is doing right now. They didn't start the fight, but there's a fight going on, and they're not running away. They're not going anywhere. So I salute these guys, men, women, their bravery. And I just want to keep my fingers crossed. I pray, because all of this could affect us down the line. You never know. I'm just looking for a miracle when this thing will stop altogether, when the person wants to force the other team to say, I yield, I yield. Hey, Putin may be the one to be saying that. You never know. And it will all be over. But we don't want this to affect all of us, because who knows, this may turn out to be World War III. We don't know. We just don't know. But let's keep our fingers crossed for all of that, because we're not headed into the right direction when we have a war going on. The United States are, you know, involved here, and other people, and they're just looking for the best for Ukraine, and so am I. My heart goes out. Okay, just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. We're live from New York City. My name is Frank Allan, in green today, celebrating St. Patrick's Day, laddies and lassies. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people, as I said earlier, are pretty much still celebrating, you know, but don't celebrate too hard, because tomorrow is Friday and you have to be back to work, unless, of course, you have that day off, you know. So you don't want to go and tie one on tonight and then later on go to work and you're not in a good shape. Let's not look for that. Now, I haven't seen you guys here since last week. And last week, of course, this week is the first week where we're into, say, a daylight savings time. Yeah. And have you heard that here in the United States, they're trying to pass a bill so we don't have to set the clocks at all, right? Just like in Tokyo, they don't set their clocks. But you know, there you go. There you go. Just like in Tokyo, they don't set the clocks, but they sure make sure that they keep time all together in a good form. So that's the way we like to see it. And we've got so many other things to talk about, and we're going to be talking about that coming up. We've got Sports with Brian Camp. He's coming up. As a matter of fact, he's on with us right now. And he's here from Charlotte, North Carolina, with the latest developments in today's world of sports. Hi, Brian.
How you doing? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Guess what time of the year is this call?
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, okay, St. Patrick's.
and Women's History Month. What did you have in mind?
Yeah, okay, that too.
Oh,
it's March Madness. The tournament has begun. It's begun. It's here. Oh boy, do we have a slew of games. Yes. No offense to the women and to my Irish brothers and sisters. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Yes. Well wishes to all, and to all the women too. But it is that time of the year. For this next 2 weeks is March Madness. And why they call it March Madness? Because anything could happen. Upsets could occur. Schools you never heard of are given the teams that we're very familiar with, giving them all sorts of fits and everything. So yes, it is that time of the year, and we are having a ball already. Started today at 12 o'clock. It's going to end sometime tonight. All weekend, we're going to have tons of college basketball. So get your bracket ready. Get your, I know for those that work out there, you have your office pool, and you get your teams, your schools ready, and set your Final Four up and hope that you win a nice prize. So there we have it.
Luckily in Vegas, they could gamble.
Legally, yes.
Yeah, legally, they can gamble. So good luck to whoever does that. I'm not a gambling man, so I never win. So I don't do it. But if you're good at it and you want to bet on the sports, legally, you can do it because you're in Las Vegas. The rest of you guys don't even try it.
Exactly. But again, good evening to all. It's 65 degrees out here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Weather was beautiful today. It's going to be we're going to have a little mist of rain. It might be a hit and miss, but if it misses, it's going to be 75 degrees, and it's going to be nice, mild weather, the type of temperature we have around this time of the year in the month of March here in the Queen City. So let me get right to sports. As you well know by now, this 45-year-old guy that's about to become 45 in August is coming back to football. Thomas Brady is back. After 40 days of being in retirement, he says, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. I don't know if that means get away from his wife, his family, his kids, because that was the reason why he retired, because he needed to stay home with his family. And sometimes with these athletes, when you stay home, when you out on the road and you miss your children growing up, you want to call it a career, but no. After 40 days, he said, enough of this. We don't know the reason why, but he said, I'm getting the heck out of here and I'm going to play football. So he's going to come back for his 23rd season. He announced it, returning for his 23rd year, says that he realized his place is on the field. On the field. Not at home, but on the field. And he said he's not going to just go and watch football in the stand. So he'll turn 45 August 3rd. But there you have it. He's back. Houston, Texas quarterback Deshaun Johnson. Remember him, where he was held out for a whole year for 22 lawsuits of women accused him of sexual charges? Well, guess what? The investigation's been dropped. The lawsuits has been dropped. So now he's about to go back and resume his career. He's about to get traded to someone. I'm not sure where. We don't know yet, but it could happen at any moment. The leading candidates are the Atlanta Falcons and New Orleans Saints. And just those two teams. It was the Cleveland Browns, but they decided no. It was the Carolina Panthers, but no more. It's between New Orleans and Atlanta. So stay tuned for that. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, who have teamed up for 20 NFL seasons, will have a 21st season together. But not at Fox. Earlier, Troy Aikman left Fox to join ESPN, and just a couple of days ago, Joe Buck, the play-by-play man, will be joining him as they both sign a multi-year agreement to join ESPN as the new voices of Monday Night Football. Yes, remember Monday Night Football first started with Howard Cosell and Danny Don Meredith and Keith Jackson and so many people that was part of it, and Frank Gifford, all those guys. Well, they're going to resume the tradition. They're going to be the new voices of Monday Night Football. In the NBA, Greg Popovich became the all-time winning head coach in NBA history with 1,336 victories. He surpassed Don Nelson, who previously held the record for most regular season wins with the San Antonio Spurs victory over the Utah Jazz. Popovich was also named among the NBA's 15 greatest head coaches of all time in February. He has won five NBA championships, 3 Coach of the Year awards, has a record of 23 consecutive winning regular seasons, and also had a streak of 22 straight years of being in the playoffs. So congratulations to Pop, as he's nicknamed Pop, but his real name is Greg Popovich. The NBA has fined Brooklyn Nets star $50,000 for letting Kyrie Irving, who's unvaccinated, that's the same player for the Brooklyn Nets, letting Kyrie Irving into their locker room during a game in which he was unable to play because he was not vaccinated. You got to follow rules and regulations. He was not vaccinated against the COVID-19 mandate. Now, Irving was a spectator at Barclays Center's last Sunday game against the Knicks, sitting across from the Nets bench against the Knicks. And as of right now, there is no longer a mandate that fans be vaccinated to enter the arena or any sporting events. However, there's still one requirement for someone who works there. Since he works there and works for the Nets, he broke protocol. Unlike unlike being in the stands, but it was in the locker room. He was considered part of the team's workplace and environment. So newly elect Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, is supposed to hopefully release this mandate so he could play home games. Now, he's not allowed to play home games in Brooklyn, and he's not allowed to play road games at Madison Square Garden, which is part of New York State, New York City, New York State. So that's where we are right now. He's been charged $50,000. We're going to hit him in the pocket, and he's going to have to pay that. And it was really showing up the mayor. You don't show up the mayor of New York City. You got to follow his instructions, follow the rules. If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's fine, but you got to follow protocol. WNBA, Russia media reported that the detention of WNBA star Brittany Griner was extended until May 19th, a development that could see the two-time Olympic champion being held for at least 3 months before her case is resolved. Now, Griner was detained at a Moscow airport in February 17th, after Russian authorities say a search of her luggage revealed vape cartridges allegedly contain oil derived from cannabis, which is drugs, which could carry a maximum penalty up to 10 years in prison. The extension is for the prosecutors to further the investigation, to look more into what happened. Now, these delays are standard in Russia because they take their time in sending people to court. It's not like in the States where you get a court date, within a month or two, or maybe in a couple of weeks. But in Russia's case, they're going to take their time. Say that she could be held without trial for up to a year or to 18 months. So that's where we stand with her, and hopefully that this will be resolved, because as you know, that they're in the midst of a war, and this has some kind of conflict between sanctions being held against the Russians with the U.S. So Russia and the U.S. do not get along, as you know, and sanctions are being going back and forth. So this is Russia's way saying, well, we're going to pay you back. We're going to hold your celebrity basketball star. This day, March 17th, in sports, 1953, Bill Veeck says he will sell 80% of the St. Louis Browns for $475 million. 1970, Peter O'Malley becomes the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, of the LA Dodgers. And in 1988, the highest scoring NCAA basketball game to this date, Loyola Marymount 119, Wyoming 115. And how to end sports on a college basketball score. And we're in the middle of March Madness. So I can't give you any scores because the game is on 4 different channels. It's on CBS, True TV, TBS, and TNT. Check your local listings and you can find the game that you want to watch. But like I said, basketball has been on since 12 noon. It won't go off until 12 midnight tonight. Same thing for tomorrow night, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday as well, too, as they dwindle down to the Sweet 16 as it's called. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
Talk about Tom Bradley. I'm glad he's back. God bless him. I'm glad he's back. I was sort of, when the announcement. Tom Brady. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Tom Brady. I don't know what I'm talking about. Tom Brady, I'm glad he's back. He's still virtually young and still has more play in him. But I thought, I was kind of confused when I first heard the announcement. I said, what? I said, he just retired. I kind of look at this, when people go into retirement, especially sports people, when you go into retirement, that's something that, especially if you've been doing it a long time, I think that's something that you got to think about that hard before you even jump into that pool. I'm thinking about retirement, but let me see. Am I going to do the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? I don't know. You got to give a lot of thought. Obviously, he didn't give it a lot of thought. He must have had just said, hey, you know what? I did what I can do for football, NFL, so I'm going to retire. And then when you retire, people are wishing you the best. Hey, people might give you sports cars and things like that. And then you come back. It's kind of like, you understand what I mean?
Well, 40 days is not a long time to enjoy retirement. This took him 40 days to change his mind. I want to come back. Was it a family decision? Did he consult this with his wife and his children? Of course, the children want to see their father home, but his passion, his obsession is football.
Yeah.
Does he love football more than his family? I'm not putting words in his mouth, but at the age of 44, you're soon to be 45 before the regular season starts. When are you going to find time for your family? Because children grow up so fast within a blink of an eye, and then you're going to watch these wonderful years shoot right by.
And that's why I said maybe he didn't give it some real good thought, because when you go into retirement and you say, because remember when I was a disc jockey radio show and I had told you I'm leaving, you said, why? I said, well, I gave it some heavy thought. And I said, I did all I can do for it. I said, I want to move on to something else. It took me 2 years to make that decision. And this is what I'm saying. It takes a long time to make a decision like that, especially if you have that passion and that drive and you've been doing it for a long time. You just can't retire just like that and say, hey, I'm giving it up. You can't go cold turkey. I'm glad he's back, but now when he retires for the second time, now it's not going to be a big deal.
Well, true. That makes sense. Look what happened to the great ones, Muhammad Ali, They all decide to come back. Joe Louis,
George.
George Foreman. Your body tells you when enough is enough.
Yeah.
Are you doing it for the money, or are you doing it for the love of it?
Yeah.
And I believe Tom Brady, he has tons of money, so he's doing it for the love of it.
Yeah.
But at sometimes, Father Time is always undefeated.
Yeah.
And at this point, he feels he still has something left in the tank. So we will see. We will see.
Yeah, well, he probably thought that, and we all knew that he had some more in the tank. We all knew that. That's why it was surprising when I found out that he was going to retire. But then when he came back, I said, gosh, man, Tom, when you go out, when you want to go out, you want people to say, oh man, he was a great man. He did this, and they'll give you cars, and they'll give you this, they'll throw you parties and give you that. And then all of that is over. And then how many more days? It took you 40 days to come back.
Yeah. Hopefully when he says the time is right, he'll play the great Frank Sinatra theme song. He did it his way. And if you know the lyrics to that, the time has come. Well, I don't want to sing, but you understand what I'm saying with those lyrics, because those lyrics means the time has come.
Yeah.
And he's going to do it his own way in his own time.
Yeah.
And, I just wish that he doesn't get hurt in the process, because sometimes people stay on a bit too long that may cause them some serious injury. So we wish him the best.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't come down to that. I hope that he bows out, before anything happens, because the older you get, the brittle you get.
Yeah.
He's 45, going on 45. That's not a real young for sports, for that kind of sport. That's not really a young age.
Right.
Baseball, I've seen baseball players. Some baseball players don't even go that long.
Yeah, that's right.
But hey, Tom, I'm still with you. I'm still with him. Do the best. I wish him the best. But I just wish he had bowed out gracefully and say, and just leave it alone after that. But
leave it alone.
This way he wouldn't have to make that decision. Okay, so am I going to see you here tomorrow?
Maybe just in case I send everything to you, I'll let you know something tomorrow morning to let you know.
Okay, so we hope so. And I guess we'll see you then.
Okay, see you later.
Take care of yourself. Okay,
bye-bye.
Gentlemen, that's Brian Kemp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And he's with us every Thursday at this time, every Thursday. And he comes on and he brings us the latest developments in today's world of sports. Of course, he's always here. And we hope that he's here tomorrow too on the coffee hour. If not, of course, he sends information, and then I'm the man, I'll have to do it. Along with DJ Pete, part of the 2020 feature, Brian 20 after, DJ Pete 22 the hour. I know for a fact DJ Pete is not going to be here tomorrow morning. So we're going to have to, once again, fill in his work. I hope to see him here soon. In case you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allan. We're coming to you directly from New York City, live from New York City, and we're here every Thursday. In case you're just joining us for the very first time, don't make it your last time. Please don't make it your last time. Tell your friends about it. If you're on Facebook, by the way, we'll talk more about that Facebook thing. Tag your friends and let them in on the show too. If you're watching us on YouTube, by all means, I advise you, and I hope that you will subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please, I hope you will. The more the merrier, the more the merrier. I hope that you do that. And those of you who are watching us on Instagram, you can do the same thing. And again, we want to thank you guys for being along with us. So many things to do, so many things to say, wonderful things to say, wonderful things to do. I remember a guy named Leon Lewis, radio personality, used to talk like that. Okay, here we go. On this day in history in 1901, at a show in Paris, 71 Vincent van Gogh paintings caused a sensation 11 years after his death. On this day in history in 1905, Albert Einstein finishes his scientific paper detailing his quantum theory of light and one of the foundations of modern physics. On this day in history in 1942, General Douglas MacArthur arrives in Australia to become Supreme Commander. On this day in history in 1960, which was a very, very good year, US President Eisenhower forms anti-Castro exile army under the CIA. Back in 1969, Golda Meir becomes Israel's fourth prime minister, the first and only female to hold that office. Back in 1973, Elizabeth Taylor, Queen Elizabeth Taylor, she was a queen, but Queen Elizabeth II opens New London Bridge. Back in 1973, St. Patrick's Day marches, they carry 14 coffins commemorating Bloody Sunday. Back in 1989, Dorothy Cudney was the first female Grand Marshal of the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Back in 1991, Irish lesbians and gays march in the St. Patrick's Day Parade, and that was for the very first time, I may add. In 1992, South African referendum of white voters on the end to the apartheid over 2/3 vote for end of the system. Back in 1995, US approves the first chickenpox vaccine. That's Verivax, and that was done by the Merck company. In 2003, British Cabinet Minister Robin Cook resigns over government plans for the war with Iraq. In 2008, New York State Governor Eliot Spitzer resigns after a scandal involving a high-end prostitute. And David Paterson becomes acting New York State Governor at that time. Okay, in 1905, Eleanor Roosevelt marries Franklin D. Roosevelt. That's all I have to say about that. And finally, in 1967, novelist Alice Walker weds civil rights lawyer Melvin Leventhal, I should say, and they married in New York City. And that's this day in history. And if you know anything in history that I haven't mentioned and you happen to know about it, a lot of you guys are smart too. Please let us know, and we'll bring it right here on the show for you right now. And those of you who are watching, thank you so much for being along. It's Talk Back Live, and we've got a lot of things going for us here. And we hope that you continue to support us each week as we come to you each week live every Thursday between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. And it's only 1 hour of your time, just 1 hour of your time. And we'd love to have you aboard with us. Invite some friends, tell your friends and family, make us part of the action too. And everything is going to be just fine. Oh, everything going to be all right. Okay. So everything's in order now because we already told you that you had turned back your clocks. You have turned back your clocks, right? You've done that. You set your clocks, or you set them up, I should say. All right. And I said earlier, Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be, maybe, we don't know how it's going to happen. I do know, I believe it was the House had recommended this, approve the bill. Now they're waiting on the Senate to do it, that we don't have to set the clocks anymore, backwards, forwards, or otherwise, sideways, or whatever. And we'll be just like Japan. Japan, they don't set their clocks at all. And we don't know when if this bill is going to come up or not. We don't know when the next announcement is going to be when they do it. We hope that if they do it before we have to set the clocks back. All right. I hope it's that way, because this way, if they keep it the way it is now, we enjoy an extra hour of daylight. All right, that's what we want, extra hour of daylight. But you know something, it's a little more fact. A lot of people don't remember this, but they tried that once before here in the United States. You know, they tried that once before. And I just remembered it was one particular time, and I woke up, you know, in the morning, you know, at 8 o'clock in the morning, it was still pitch black outside. So I don't know, it's frightening. It's frightening to see that at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's pitch black, you know, but that's probably what's going to happen. We'll keep more informed of that. But in the meantime, we're all set. We are here right now, Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And of course, we're glad to have you guys out there. I wanted to talk to you about Facebook, right? You already know about that, right? Facebook. Now, at the top of the show, I told you guys about it. At the top of the show, we told you that if you weren't with us for the past couple of weeks, you would have known that we're not broadcasting live on Facebook. Okay. You remember the last time? They put us in jail. They locked us up and threw away the key for a while. They gave us 30 days of punishment. And that means we couldn't broadcast live. And it was because of some kind of posting that I did that had nothing to do with anything. And it was the same thing. They just discovered 2 years later about this posting, and then they decided they want to give us 59 days of punishment. No broadcasting live for 59 days, no advertising for 59 days. And they said something about any time you post something, it's going to go at the bottom, but I've yet to see that. And I'm not going to even push that issue that they do that. Because when I post things on Facebook, it's right at the top and people could see it right away. But it was 59 days. We're now down to 44 days before we go back on the air on Facebook. And I really couldn't understand it. You know, you post things that don't offend anyone. It's just that they don't like it. Sometimes you may say something, and I've heard people say that. I got locked up in jail just for saying something. Freedom of speech, you know, exercising my freedom of speech, and they knocked me off Facebook. Now, I've heard stories, and I don't know how true it is because I'm not there. I don't work for Facebook. I've never been there before. I only do this on Facebook. But I understand that people that they hire there are monitoring everything, which is fine. You monitor everything that goes on because you want to make sure everything is okay, right? And that's why a lot of people who have gotten kicked off Facebook permanently because of their racial views, and they got kicked off permanently. And those things cause stirrups, you know. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't want to be on Facebook anymore, or people who are on Facebook now tend to not want to be on Facebook unless, of course, they want to watch Talk Back Live or the Coffee Hour or something like that. Other than that, they want to shut down their Facebook because of the fact they talk to people, and all of these racial overtones come out, and people are fighting, people are doing this and doing that. I remember one time I posted something, and it was one of those things. It was a nice post and a nice subject to debate by. I love debates. I love debates. I don't like arguments. Now, there's a big difference. You already know that, right? Debates are one thing, and debates are healthy. We could agree on certain things, we could disagree, but we don't have to get into a brawl about it. But there was one time that I put out a subject, and people just came in and they just responded to it. And it only takes that one person to not like what you say, or not like what maybe your followers would say. And then they want to call you names, and they want to do this and want to do that. And I wasn't attacked in this particular case. I wasn't attacked personally. But one of the people who wrote on my wall, who obviously was a friend. I don't know all of my friends. I really don't know, because it's a public thing, you know. But they said something, and I read it because I wanted to hear the responses, you know, whether they were positive or negative. I listened to every response. I read them all. And whether I agreed with them or not, that was another story. But I never, you know, took down anyone's post or comments, because it was the right, unless it was something racial or something like that, or something offensive to another race of people or something like that. That I never did tolerate. But the one person called the other person stupid for saying something like that or something, right? And so I got on. I don't usually chime in that way. You know, I usually post comments, and I like to see people respond to them, and they respond to them. But I had to get on and say, hey, look, guys, this is a democracy. We're allowed to express our feelings. But I said, on this wall, on my Facebook wall, yelling at people, calling people's name will not be tolerated. And if it happens again, I will automatically take your comment off. And if you happen to be a friend in my pool, I am going to block you. And that kind of said everything. That kind of covered everything. And a lot of people cheered it on and everything, but I wasn't looking for cheers. I wasn't looking for anything like that. But I just wanted to know people, and I still feel that way. People could respond, whatever I put on Facebook. It's okay. It's okay. Respond. You can like it, dislike it. I don't care. Like it or dislike it. Express it. Freedom of speech. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm just happy that you're able to express your feeling in a diplomatic way. And therefore, we could live happily ever after. But when you start calling people names and cursing them out and doing this and doing that, and that's where I have to draw the line. But anyway, getting back to the subject of not being broadcast on Facebook. So the post that I did, they discovered 2 years ago. It was a post that was done in 2020. It wasn't an offensive post. It was a picture. We post pictures and things like that. But they don't like pictures. It wasn't a naked picture. It wasn't a picture of someone being lynched or anything violent. And it was nothing like that. But they decided, now whether I was right, whether I was wrong, they decided that, this will not fit. It doesn't suit our community. What's your community? I don't know. But nevertheless, they banned us for 59 days, and now we're down to 44 days. And I just want to hope that this is going to be the last time this happens. And a lot of people are, and I got to be honest with you, a lot of people are complaining about Facebook. A lot of people enjoy it. We enjoy it. We enjoy social media. That's part of social media. And Facebook is one of the highest ranking social media outlets that people to enjoy. And everyone's on it. People who have never been on Facebook before decided, there must be something to it. So I'm going to jump on Facebook. I want to be part of the Facebook community, and they jump aboard. And then on the other hand, there are some people that say, something, I've had it with this. I don't need this. I am going to cancel my Facebook. I am going to take my Facebook off. I want nothing to do with it. It depends on how you look at it. But my opinion about social media, a lot of people are not using social media responsibly, and it's a shame to say this. A lot of these people that get on there and talk all of this crap, this trash, are people like in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. Come on. I mean, even high school students don't act like that. At least most of them don't. When you get to a certain point in life, you're in your 20s, you say, okay, I used to do this, I used to do that, but I don't do that anymore. But when you get to your 50s and even 40, 50, 60s, 70s, when you get to that line and you're still promoting that kind of trash on social media, then what does that say for you as an adult? You're supposed to be a responsible adult. You're supposed to set examples for people who are younger, watch these things. Now, I do know that most social media outlets, you have to be 18 and over. And so you do get people who are watching, 18-year-old, 19, 20, people that young watching, and they're looking at it and they're thinking, is this right or this is wrong? And I'm just hoping that even that young, they would say, nah, that's not right. I'm not going to go for that. I'm not going to even respond to that. Some people say things that, it's not even worth, responding to or dignifying, so they just don't bother with it. But anyway, that's why we're off Facebook. So we have 44 days to go before we get back on the air and do our thing on Facebook. So we hope that you're out there and that you are responding accordingly. Okay, if you're just watching us, you're just joining in. The name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allan, and I am with you for the balance of the hour. We have 10 minutes to go before the show is over, and we want you to stay with us because we have more to come. And again, if you're just joining us for the first time, please don't make it your last. And please bring some friends along with you once again, your family, friends, anybody, because we're all around the world. We come on those outlets we were just telling you about. We're live on YouTube right now. We're live on Instagram. Pretty soon we'll be back on Facebook Live and give it to you. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, when we do this show, we do the show live on the two outlets I just told you, YouTube and Instagram. Well, for those of you who normally watch us on Facebook, after this show is over, we are going to post this very show as a rerun on Facebook. It's not like it's live, but it will be there for people who don't get access or refuse to get access to YouTube or Instagram. They just want to stay with Facebook. We will have, this show will be rebroadcast and posted on Facebook right after this show is over, sometime after the show is over, maybe an hour after, because we have to get it together. But we can't wait to get back on the air live to entertain all of you guys. So thank you so much for being along with us. And as I said earlier too, we talk about celebrating Women's History Month. Now, let me tell you something, Women's History Month. We salute women, but there's one thing there's one woman, she's not really a woman. She's only a kid of 11 years old, but I have to salute her, and I'm going to tell you why. Her name is Jaslyn Jazzy Guerrero. Jaslyn Jazzy Guerrero, 11-year-old girl, and she has a show. She has a show on the YouTube, just like we do. But here's a young lady, and I picked up on the news, and I went to her website as well to look at her stuff. Here's a little young girl at 11 years old, created her own page, of course, with the help of course, I hope her parents too are watching and guiding her along with this. She wants to have her own talk show. This little girl have interviewed people that I couldn't even get in touch with. I mean, she have interviewed, I mean, these are short interviews because these people don't stay long. She's waited for hours outside before they come out to talk to them. She has spoken to Denzel Washington. She has spoken to Ric Flair, the wrestler. She has spoken to many people. She's spoken to Jay-Z. She has spoken to so many, they're just a lot of people. You have to go to her website. Her website is Jazzy's World TV. And she is a phenomenal young lady. She's only 11 years old. She's in the 6th grade and she wants to do her show. And let me tell you something, she's very outgoing. She has so much energy. She has so much energy and she's likable. She's so cute. She is likable. The people that she interviewed like her. And I predict that as she get older, you know, everything is going to change, of course. Her voice is going to change. She's going to be well polished and she's going to have the knowledge of what she does because she's learning it now. But so many people she had interviewed, she even made an impression on, Alicia Keys. She made a big impression on Alicia Keys. Now, if you go to the website, Jay-Z's World TV, you'll see all those interviews. And even at the end of the interview, Alicia Keys says, when you get your show, I want you to invite me. She says, yes, you're going to be the first one. She has interviewed a lot of people, a lot of prominent people. And, you know, she's a go-getter. Only 11 years old. Jaslyn Jazzy, but she calls herself Jazzy. So we'll call her just plain Jazzy. And her website on YouTube is Jazzy's World TV. Check it out. Look at her interviews. And if I could talk to her, if I could only talk to her, maybe she's watching this now, maybe her parents are watching right now. If I could talk to her, I'd just like to give her a little advice because she's only 11 years old. And who knows, maybe in the near future, she's only a baby. in the future, she may come up doing something else. She may want to do something else instead. But right now, this is what she does. She looks like she knows what she wants to do, and she wants to go for it because, hey, when I was 5 years old, I wanted to be a DJ. I already knew that. So here she is, 11 years old. Maybe it'll happen, and I hope it does. But I like to give her good advice. If you're going to pursue this business, please make sure that you keep yourself grounded. And I'm sure your mom and dad is going to make sure that you're grounded too. Make sure that you're grounded. Make sure that your parents are all behind you, because at this particular point, the parents have to take charge of her until she gets at least 21 years old before she makes her own decision. But when you even get to that age of 21, make sure that you watch people around you. Watch your surroundings. Stay grounded. Don't be the person, well, I've made it and I'm this and I'm that, because you got to remember one thing, it's nothing but a job. That's all it is. It's not a job. Don't try to be a star. Don't try to be a diva. You know, just be normal, be the way you are right now, and you're really going to go far. And to the father who I saw on TV, I encourage him to encourage her and to always keep an eye open. Keep the eyes open. And if I personally could do anything or give any kind of advice, I will. It's open. It's open. I am here. You know, I don't know if this message is going to get back to them or not, but if any kind of advice that I can give other than what I'm saying now, I mean, there's so many things I can give you, but we're running out of time. But I'm here. So go on her YouTube channel. I'll be talking about this tomorrow on the coffee hour. It's called Jazzy's TV World, Jazzy apostrophe S, TV's World. And you go there and watch it. Okay, and she got a lot of great interviews. And let me know what you think about it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about those movies that you like. We got a lot of great movies that we talk about, and they're all from Turner Classic Movies. And of course, if you have something that you want to watch this weekend, I have some that'll go with your weekend. Yeah, sure. We're going to start with 1971. Here's something that I think you guys are going to like. I love it. I can watch it 1,000 times without getting tired. Shaft, 1971, the original Shaft with Richard Roundtree. That comes on Turner Classic Movies. That will be on Saturday at 4:30 a.m. So if you're not up that early, you could always DVR it and watch it at another time. That's Shaft with Richard Roundtree. Here's another classic that we mentioned before. It's been on a dozen of times, but it's always worth mentioning. Lilies of the Field, 1963, Sidney Poitier. That's Turner Classic Movie. You can watch that this coming Saturday too at 12 p.m. Eastern, your lunchtime. And that's coming on Turner Classic Movie. Jezebel from 1938, starring Betty Davis and Henry Fonda on Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 8 a.m. Of course, that's early. You could DVR that, and when you get back from church or whatever you do on Sunday, you can watch that at a later time if you don't want to watch it that early in the morning. And then we have I Want to Live. Now, here's a good classic, I Want to Live, starring Susan Hayward. It was a true story. And this comes on Turner Classic Movies. You watch it. I'm not going to tell you the theme of the story. You have to watch these shows. TCM, that's Sunday at 11:45 a.m. and that's Eastern, of course. And then you have Mildred Pierce, 1945, Joan Crawford on Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And finally, here's something that you like. It goes to 1996. It's not a classic, but it's something worth watching, especially if you're a boxing fan. When We Were Kings, that's the name of the program. When We Were Kings, it's an Oscar-winning chronicle of the 1974 championship bout between Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. I've seen it before. It's great. That's coming on Turner Classic Movies. That's on Sunday at 10:15 p.m. And I think you're going to like it. So ladies and gentlemen, with that, that's going to wrap it up for me. I hope you enjoyed the show. I had a good time. It's time for me to go, but I will be back here tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, bright and early at 10 a.m. For the coffee hour. Brian Camp will be along. Hopefully he'll be along with his part of the 2020 feature, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And DJ Pete, well, he won't be here, but I'll be filling in for his portion of the show, 20 to the hour, and he'll give you entertainment news. I'll give you the entertainment news, and of course, reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety within that week. That's all coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. Other than that, I will return back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. I hope that you're with me. Brian Camp will be with me once again with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. In the meantime, you guys have a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, and overall a great night.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allan. The producer is Al Dale, technical assistance Dave Taylor, research by Sandy Pierce, and I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.